The Galactic Starcruiser was the most original, immersive, and satisfying vacation that we've ever been on. It was 2 days of great food, fun games, and living in the Star Wars universe. So why should it end? Stay tuned for my thoughts on why it failed and how Disney could return to the Star Wars universe. Hey there fellow nerds, welcome to DN Digital. This isn't our normal type of video, but today I'm taking you on an out-of-this-world journey to a galaxy far, far away. The final day on the Halcyon was not much of a Star Wars experience at all. We got up to get more of the delicious Halcyon food for breakfast, and then it was time to disembark. It was all over, and as we left you could feel how bummed everyone was that it was over. Living in the Star Wars universe was so fun and joyful. So how can guests have such an amazing experience and yet the Galactic Starcruiser still had to close? Let's not beat around the bush. The first main reason is the price. Like, if we didn't have a very, very generous cousin, we never, ever could have afforded this experience. The price is huge, and it was clear that there were a lot of corners cut. There's a lot of bespoke expenses and experiences, but you could also tell that they had to cut corners. The hotel part of it didn't feel luxurious. For the price, the hotel room felt a little bit cheap, but the experience overall clearly felt like the cost was necessary for every other part. It needed to be that price. Second reason is returning customers. Okay, this one kind of goes hand in hand with the price. With the few people who can afford to come and want to, they're probably only coming once. So you have a limited pool of customers, and for every guest that goes, that's one fewer potential customers in the future. Third reason is that I don't think anyone really wanted the story to take place during the Disney era of Star Wars. Like, people wanted to live in the original series storyline. Like, Rey and Kylo are fine. They're just fine. That's it. Seeing Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie and Boba Fett and Darth Vader, those characters would actually rock people's lives if they were there. Okay, all those reasons have been said by pretty much anyone and everyone. But my final reason is something I think I haven't really heard anyone else say. Who is the audience for this? I don't think Disney ever figured that out. I get that the new era of Star Wars is geared towards kids. Like, kids who are kids today, not like adult kids like me. Guess what, Disney? Kids don't have $6,000. Adult nerds have $6,000 to spend on something like this, and they didn't love the new sequels as much as they still love the originals. The experience had the cost of adult luxury, but was oozing with being geared towards little kids. They just couldn't narrow down their customer base for this, and that's a big issue when you're asking for that kind of money. All that being said, I still love the experience beyond what I ever thought even possible. It's truly indescribable what Disney accomplished with this quote-unquote failure. I would have tried to get a group together to split a room next year, but sadly, it's gone forever.
Welcome back.
Here's the part where everyone speculates how they could have done things better, but that's not me. It's done, and no amount of what-ifs changed Disney's decision to close it down. I am, however, extremely interested in speculating on how Disney could use this as a very expensive springboard for new ideas. Let's focus on what worked with the Galactic Starcruiser. The guest experience, top-notch treatment by the cast, complete immersion, characters, games, food, roleplay, and most of all, story. Disney could absolutely leverage their experience into something with equal quality at a lower price tag. I have what I think of as the perfect solution. For that, we look to another park that is also widely considered a failure for different reasons: Evermore Park. Evermore Park is an immersive fantasy theme park outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. It originally boasted some unbelievable blue sky ideas for a park that never really manifested. From all accounts, they seem to have run out of funding for the biggest and best ideas they promised, but have struck a chord with their immersive role-playing, seasonal storylines, and park-wide quests. It seems to be a permanent renaissance fair that is noticeably incomplete. I don't want to criticize it without ever having gone. That's kind of like crapping on a movie that you haven't seen or a book you've never read. The sentiment that this park is a failure, while still technically in operation, is espoused by many critics who have actually gone to the park. So these two concepts have exactly the opposite issues. What can Disney learn from Evermore? I think that the takeaways from Evermore is to create the same immersion and roleplay that Starcruiser had, but to spread it out over a season. Keep growing and evolving the story and the lore. Build relationships with the guests that continue to invest emotionally in the experience, and make it affordable for people who actually want to go. So what is it that I'm suggesting? I'm suggesting is a small park-like area that opens seasonally with a new storyline each season that guests can purchase a season pass to or just a day pass. Keep the same level of immersion with games and scavenger hunts and real props and escape room-like puzzles. Keep a cast of talented improv actors to keep the story going, and most importantly, a team of writers to keep the story on point. This builds a guest loyalty from a dedicated community. Because while most of the people I met were once-in-a-lifetime guests, there were maybe a quarter of the guests who had been several times. That guest loyalty was well-earned and rewarded Disney back with their money. Now imagine at a lower price and even wider net of tens of thousands of people who buy seasonal passes every few months. I'm not a business-minded person, but a reliable stream of profits seems like a good start to a viable business. If I take this idea even one step further down the practicality rabbit hole, space doesn't even need to be a park like Galaxy's Edge. In my mind, the perfect idea would be to turn an abandoned mall into a space station or a ship. It could even work as a city like Coruscant. America is lousy with dead malls. There are actually over 300 dead malls in the United States that could be bought for a song and rethemed for cheaper than brand new construction. All that is blue sky thinking, but just imagine, if you will, going every weekend and getting to live in the Star Wars universe, getting to feel fully like you're part of that story. And more importantly, you are a part of your own story in a galaxy far, far away.